I mean, it'd be something, two shells coming together, maybe a thumb.
Just hold your thought. And as soon as we start talking again, he's gonna start shooting again.
Yeah, I know. So if somebody can come up with an idea to where, similar to that, being able to... He's mad. He's got to be mad at us.
Alright guys, so back out here at the range once again. We are running through a hardcore evaluation of Cody's tactical lever action in 357 Magnum as a PDW Life and Liberty gun. And so part of that is running against time and using a comparative metric of some sort, in this case a semi-automatic PCC, namely my AKV. You know, the 9mm it's the same diameter cartridge. Recoil is similar, if not identical. And well, I just don't currently know of any PCCs that are mag fed that are chambered in 357 Magnum. So getting the one-to-one comparison just wasn't going to happen. But we want to, again, we're wanting to compare this against the alternative, which is a semi-automatic mag-fed weapon. On the course of fire we're going to run, we have a 9-hole VTAC barricade as well as a static barricade set up. We have 5 steel challenge targets set up downrange. We have a course of fire of 4 shots from the VTAC from 2 different slots, and then 4 shots on the regular targets from the fixed barricade, as well as then the stop target. For this exercise, I am downloading the AKV to 7 rounds per magazine. Shooter ready? Yep. Stand by.
Shooter ready. Ready. Stand by.
Shooter ready? Stand by.
Ready.
Ready as I'll never be.
Shooter ready.
Ready.
Stand by. Throw one in. There you go. You need 3. There you go.
Come on. Hanging up in here. There we go.
You're gonna get. But hey, not bad. Like.
Yeah, that's running the lever gun through there. That's a whole nother thing.
Running this is really easy. However, the reloading versus the shooting, you're going to be shooting faster than what you're going to be able to replace the rounds in the tubular magazine. So if anybody out there can actually like design something, maybe, because it would even be, I'd pay for it, I really would, but something that, kind of how Jerry m-lok did with his reloader tube for his shotgun, something that just goes right onto the loading gate, pushes down, and then you just ride a thumb groove right up into it. Just 2 rounds would be all you would need to get a lot faster on your reload. So,
like if you were to do a whatever R1, because you can drop it right into the open chamber, that's quick. But if you need another follow-up shot, that's where you're.
That's where you're going to have to play tactics into that as well. For this series, I think that we're going to have to, you know, your fighting tactic is going to have to change in order to run a lever action. And it's going to take a lot more. You know what I mean?
Right. Because there's so much that goes into it. The most accurate comparison, of course, would be you running both and then me running both.
I mean, the way that I was thinking was like if we were going to run handicaps where you would have had to shoot each target twice, I was thinking, okay, well, 357's got a little bit more ass behind it, so why not just let me only shoot once? But then I got to thinking, okay, well, what if you have to shoot twice? What if you have to shoot 3 times? You know, after running it like we did, I mean, if you were handicapped, like if somebody was actually coming at me with one of those, I have the advantage of, you know, quick reaction, just like on target, pull the trigger, boom, and I don't have to worry about, like, I've got the power behind my stuff, I've got all that stuff, or I've got the power and I've got the first shot accuracy out the gate. You, on the other hand, you have volume, and you know, it was kind of an unfair advantage, to be completely honest. I mean, you would never go into a fight with 7 rounds in your magazine.
No.
But I understand what we were doing today. Honestly, like, this is rough. Like, my hand physically hurts from loading this thing.
Right. That I'm doing. And that's the real disadvantage. It's not the 7 rounds that are in the tube. I think with 7 rounds, if you can do the job in 7 rounds with either firearm, for somebody who's practiced, I'd say the advantage is there. You've got the heavier hitting round, and once you get used to that cycling, I'd say I guess we didn't look enough at the splits.
No, we didn't. Your splits were far better than mine. Time between shots, anyway. And it's obvious that you're going to get better follow-up shots, because all you gotta do is just crack that trigger, crack it again. Good. With me, I have to methodically think about it, and that's the next thing. Walking down this little journey that I decided to take on. You know, I'm learning a lot about, you know, how much I actually took for granted of granted, of, you know, AR-15s. And, you know, if I only had this to fight with, I mean, I'd be in trouble. But on the other hand, it's just like, I still got that round. And I don't know, like, if we were, you know, pricing it out and saying, you know, this is how much this is worth, right? So you can have 30 rounds in a magazine, but it's not going to hit near as hard, right? You can have 7 rounds in a magazine, but it's going to hit like a brick getting thrown through, thrown at you. But yeah, if we were comparing it apples to apples, I honestly think that these two would be evenly matched. I mean, in the hands of somebody that is trained and proficient with that, I would be outmatched every day of the week.
Yeah, and again, it was an artificial handicap, downloading this to 7. And it kind of comes down to, it was like we talked about on the first episode of the series, where when you were doing a 2 shots, reload 2 shots, it would have been a different metric if you were doing a 1R1 versus, honestly, versus lock open drills on an AR. I think this would be faster. Or it'd be a really close thing.
And what I found thus far is how I'm keeping the gun topped up. Like, if I'm moving, I need to make sure it's topped up. If I'm behind cover, I need to make sure it's topped up, which we've discussed a few times. The final episode we're going to be doing is just going to be a set down, but the episode before that is going to be, which there's going to be 5 parts of this, so make sure you definitely stick around for it. But the aspect of what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be getting pushed to my absolute limit with this gun, and there's going to be some tricky little surprises in there. I'm not going to know what is going on. I don't know what the course of fire looks like. I don't know what anything looks like. I'm going to be basically walking into it with closed eyes. I'm not going to have any idea of where any targets are at, where anything's at. I'm just going to be given, here's your ammunition, go through this course of fire, hit all the targets, good luck. So I figured that would be like the ultimate like trial by fire, with as much as I'm practicing with this, as much as I'm shooting it, and everything. It'd be...
Absolutely. Here's the deal. This is really showcasing what training can do, because I know there was early on there was a situation where I think that our time on a slightly easier course of fire that we started with, our times were only a couple seconds different before we changed it to where it was going to require a mag change for me and a mag top up for you. So yeah, super revealing. And your point of view, though, is that this is still an effective fighting rifle?
All right, so I think there was a lot of information that had been lost between then and now, and it's basically having to do a lot of trial and error to figure it out. Do I still hold the affirmative that it is a fighting rifle? Oh yeah, I do. My thing is just like, so we would equate this right now, well, what our forefathers looked at this as is like the ultimate weapon of war.
Right.
Right. And now it's the AR-15 or AK-47,
right,
whatever. But back then, they were, as we all are right now, where it was, throw a new mag in, hit your slide release, acquire target, flip the selector switch to fire, squeeze your trigger, hit it between the breaths. The guys that were running these guys had to have been, they had to be fast.
Right.
They had to be fast, because if they were 1 round shy, and all I can say is they had to know, like, if they had a few left over. They
right.
had to know if they had 1 left in the chamber and they needed to top up.
Right.
Or if they needed to take cover so they could top up. And that's something that we definitely take for granted, because the gun says, hey, I'm empty.
Right. Right, and then you just come out of your belt or you come out of your chest rig and you go in and
you just flop a new one in, and you give it some more freedom seeds and you keep on rocking.
Yeah.
But this is, it doesn't tell you when it's empty. The only time you can tell when it's empty is whenever you pull the trigger and you hear a click. And
click, no bang.
And I still think it's a fighting rifle. I do. I want to believe it, and I could be biased too, because like I've effectively spent an exorbitant amount of money getting this thing where it's at right now. Do I think that it would be able to do the job if I needed it to? It depends on the job. Do I think that 50 armed and pissed off people. No, I don't think. No, I don't think that this is going to do it. But this is giving me. It's humbling me. That's the biggest factor with this. Is it's humbling, because you can be the best shot in the world, but this gun will show you that you are not the best shot in the world. You think that you're fast on the trigger, but this gun will show you that you're not fast. And through this, like I've said several times off camera, that this has been one of those experiences. It's just, each time I move forward one more step, it's like I had to learn something drastically to get this next section going, and all the modifications that I've done to get it to this point, and just so I can do, like, I've done quite a few upgrades to this since the first video. I've put paracord wrap on the lever, so it's not going to hurt my knuckles as bad to run it, but an angled grip with a hand stop on it. I've also put a new red dot on here because that other one was just horrible. It was just terrible. I put a safety delete, and don't say a word. We're not talking about safety right now. This is your safety overall.
This is your safety.
This is your safety at the end of the day, and this is your safety. But now I got a sling set up on here, and the number one thing that I did that has increased my time dramatically is taking off that retarded sponge that they had put on the butt end of this. And honestly, it just takes time. It's going to take time. And the more that I shoot it, and I'm having to find new ways to get it topped up and to keep it running. Other than that, this has been an experience, and it's only episode 2. So.
Yep. So definitely, since it's only episode 2, well, click that thumbs up for us, and then click the subscribe button and the notification bell so you see when we upload the next parts of this series. Guys, we appreciate you joining us out here today. We hope that you're learning stuff. If you are and you want to support the channel, one way you can do that is by heading over to the merchandise store, pick you up a t-shirt and a hoodie, maybe a coffee cup, keep yourself warm with a nice hot beverage through these winter months that we're going into, and the channel will get a few dollars from every one of those purchases. If you want to support the channel directly, you can do that over on Patreon or Subscribestar using the links down in the description. You'll support the channel and get early access to the videos, as well as some input into the direction that the channel content takes. Finally, if you're not following the channel on social media, make sure you do that using the username you see on your screen, links in the description. Guys, thanks so much for supporting us, thanks for watching, and until next time, shoot straight, stay safe.
And tally ho.